I love SMG, I love Buffy Summers, but I felt a little bit attacked here.
Bro, don't tell me you haven't seen that one. No, the way you said it, I was like, what?
All right, let me just clear something up real quick before we get started. I am not an impersonator like that whole Jim Carrey fiasco, and no, I am definitely not AI. At least I don't think I am. I am just someone who loves movies, lives for the worlds that are inside cinema, and has a lot to say about what's hitting the screen, frame by frame, starring your leading man, Christopher Not Nolan. If you're into real opinions, a little humor, and conversations where art imitates life, you're in the right spot. Consider this your official Spy Kids mission briefing. Your objective? Hit that like button, share this with your fellow agents, and subscribe. Trust me, this is one mission that you do not want to fail. Junie and Carmen, they would be disappointed. And honestly, I would too. The mission starts now. You know, to take it back, Spy Kids wasn't just a movie. It was a whole moment. Especially growing up in a Latino household, seeing a family like that, all cool, badass, saving the world, and still making it in time for dinner, that hit different. It was fun, it was wild, and seeing that as a kid, oh yeah, it just felt like we were part of something. Spy Kids taught me about the closeness of family and trusting the people closest to you. Well, some of them at least. Now, what about a movie where you question everyone that comes into your life? With the latest installment, I'm talking about Scream 7, where we're not just revisiting a franchise. We're stepping back into a game where the rules keep changing, the stakes keep rising, and Ghostface is always one step ahead. The Scream franchise has always been about reinventing itself while holding on to its roots. And with the seventh installment, the question isn't just who's the killer. It is, can this franchise still surprise us? Scream 7 was released on February 27, 2026, directed by the longtime collaborator Kevin Williamson to a staggering 31% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is the lowest scoring film in the franchise. And yet, ironically, it is also the highest grossing film in the franchise with, as of right now, 210 million. The legacy of Ghostface returns as he continues to haunt Sidney and her loved ones, where, at this point, anyone can be behind the mask. First off, Sidney Prescott back in the mix? Hell yeah, that is the heartbeat right there. You can just feel the legacy the second that she's on the screen. It adds a lot of emotion, weight, and history. And honestly, it reminds you of why this horror franchise still matters. With all due respect to the new characters that came in from 5 and 6, Sydney is the OG and is mainly the reason why we have Ghostface in the first place. I'll give credit where it's due. The atmosphere is still doing its thing, the tension, the callbacks, it's all still sharp. The whole point about Scream is that it knows it's Scream and that the self awareness continues to carry it. Here is where things take a turn for the blurred vision. There are moments where it almost feels like it's taking risks, but then it pulls back. Like back in 1996, where it was mind blowing and very unheard of at the time. But using that same formula is a little bit outdated now. The meta commentary, where they say, I'll be right back, being a requel, the updated rules, etc. It pretty much didn't really stick the landing. It fumbled. And the use of AI, well, I'm gonna leave it to y'all's imagination there for those who haven't seen it, but I liked its creativity and bringing its usage onto society. Yeah, how that can happen in the wrong hands can really take a turn for the worst. Also, can we talk about some of the continuity issues that I noticed, like Sydney's grown teen daughter and the different husband? Because for someone that is a very diehard fan of the franchise and had been watching it since the very first, I was sitting there like, wait a minute, how did we get here this fast? I had to do a little bit of math because since this is present time, her daughter would have had to been born around '07, '08, if I'm not mistaken, which is right before Scream 4. And I know she did not mention anything about having a kid while she was on that book tour. Not to mention the husband, they hinted in Scream 5 that she married McDreamy from Scream 3. Like, it's just, okay, you know what? I have too many thoughts about this. Let's just jump back into it, okay? The biggest con in this film is predictability. Listen, part of the fun of Scream is trying to ascertain who the killer is. But this time, I wasn't having much fun guessing it. The final moment, it didn't hit me with that what the fuck moment that usually we expect. It was more like, yeah, I figured. Or if you're like me, really? For a franchise known for not playing nice and not playing it safe, this one felt like it had a bit of a, what you call it, plot armor floating around it. I wanted more shock. I wanted more risk, more of that. Wow. The thing is, even with all of that, I'm still not out on this franchise because Scream has always been about reinvention, and sometimes it'll miss before it hits again, like it did with Scream 3. And if Scream 7 felt like a setup, then I'm hoping Scream 8 has a chance to come in and shake the table and prove their staying game. So, yeah, I've got critiques, but I've also got hope. I'm grading this mango with a solid 6.5. While there wasn't a groundbreaking entry, it's not horrible in my opinion. I still enjoyed it regardless. All the performances, they committed well, especially with Nev Campbell returning as Sidney, and I will be seated for the next call. But hopefully, I'm not the next target because not all ghosts wear masks. Some are memories that you can't outrun. That brings us to the movie Reminders of Him, the kind of story that trades jump scares for emotional gut punches, diving deep into love, loss, and the consequences that just don't disappear when the story moves on. Reminders of Him, based on the novel of the same name by Colleen Hoover, was released on March 13th, 2026, starring Micah Monroe and Tyreek Withers, to 55% on Rotten Tomatoes and so far has grossed 79 million with a reported budget of 25 million. Reminders of Him follows Kenna, a young mother fresh out of prison and returning to her hometown determined to reunite with her daughter. As she tries to rebuild her arduous life through unexpected connections and painful truths, Kenna must now prove that she's worthy of forgiveness and fight for a second chance of love and motherhood. The character development is really good. Kenna isn't written as perfect or overly polished. She's flawed. She's raw. It feels like you're literally watching someone that you may know. That just makes her journey way more compelling. The relationships, especially the tension that is felt between her and the people that are in her daughter's life, it feels very authentic and layered. The story really leans into the themes of redemption, forgiveness, and what it actually means to deserve a second chance for those that are willing to give it anyway. Visually, the film keeps things intimate. It doesn't rely on anything flashy. It lets the great performances of the leading and supporting cast with their emotions. Here's the thing. This is definitely a slower paced film. You're gonna feel there are some dragging moments along the way. At the same time, that slower pace for some films, it can allow the emotional moments to breathe. There was a plot hole I noticed, the restraining order. It somehow just presented itself and then poof, it just vanished out of nowhere. I sat there like, really? This may feel a little bit too emotionally heavy, like very exhausting. It doesn't really give you a lot of breaks from the weight of the story, and not everyone wants to sit in that constant dread for melancholy for 2 hours. There were some characters, in my opinion, that felt underdeveloped. Like the parents, I didn't really see that their full scope justified from their perspective about them losing their son, and especially where they have a huge amount of pain and fear and caution taking care of their granddaughter. It was overlooked, in my opinion. We see their purpose in the story, but you may not feel that much deeply connected to them as you do to Kenna. If you're in the mood for something very raw, emotional, and reflective, then it's going to hit you, especially if you've also read the novel. But if you're looking for something more lighter, a little bit fast paced, or not as melodramatic, then this film may not be for you. This will remind me to give you the Mako grading of a 5.5. Definitely not horrible by any means. And I personally have not read the novel, but I walked out of the theater thinking it had some more potential. especially from the leading talented actors, it could have elevated itself more. After sitting in all of that emotion, it's kind of wild how horror can tap into those same feelings as well, but in a completely different language. Because grief, guilt, memory, those aren't just themes for drama. They are also the foundations of some of the most unsettling horror stories as well. Which brings us to the next film, Undertone. Now, this is where things can get eerie. If Reminders of Him is about memories that you can't escape emotionally, Undertone feels like it's about the ones that will not stop haunting you, literally. With A24 behind it, oh, y'all already know. We're not getting any jump scares. We're getting more atmospheric tension, psychological tension, and something that's probably going to stick with you after the credits roll. Undertone was also released on March 13, 2026 to 72% on Rotten Tomatoes while grossing 20 million as of right now with a reported budget of around 500K. Undertone follows Evie, a skeptical co-host of a paranormal podcast who returns home to take care for her dying mother. When she begins receiving a series of disturbing audio recordings from a couple experiencing strange, possibly supernatural events, what starts out as eerie content for her show quickly turns personal. Evie becomes increasingly paranoid, blurring the lines between the sounds that she hears and the reality around her. Now, this is not going to mirror me when my podcast. I'll tell you that. I'm not hearing anything. She's basically listening to the movie Paranormal Activity. The atmosphere itself in this movie, it is immaculate. The characters, yeah, they're all off screen except for Evie and her mother, which it kind of simplifies our imagination to what we hear. There's something deeply unsettling about watching someone who doesn't believe that they're slowly unraveling, or what's even scarier, that they don't even realize it. The performance by Mina Kiri, she keeps you locked in throughout and she commits well. Plus, the sound design is what stood out the most to me because when you look at it, they're mainly using audio and they're making the audience visualize themselves what is happening during those recordings. Yeah, that kind of gave me chills and it was quite eerie indeed. Film is slow and subtle. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. This film is not for everyone. The horror genre is very divisive and subjective on how people anticipate to be scared. There are some people who I like the non religious, the slasher survival of the fittest type of horror, and then some of those unexpected surprises, the slow burn, the psychological suspense, and even some plot twists thrown in there every now and then. Now, here's what stuck with me though: her pregnancy and her state of mind. My theory is that the recordings in the movie were not the scariest thing. It was the fact that she just cannot trust her own mind anymore. I mean, think about it. She's emotionally drained. She's caring for her ill mother. Her sleep pattern is off. And then to top it off, she finds out that she's pregnant at 3 a.m. Okay, first of all, yo, ain't no doctor that I know is gonna call their patient at that time to deliver the happy news, especially when it's usually happy news. Fast forward, her mental health at this point, while listening to the first few tapes, hearing those nursery rhymes, and y'all, she's drinking alcohol with meds. You can see where this is spiraling to. I feel that she has a problem with alcohol because I noticed that her co star was hoping that she didn't relapse. Is someone an addict? Psychosis is introduced early on in the movie, questioning reality versus paranoia, and you can see that she's experiencing that throughout the entire film. So it begs the question: is this all in her head? Was this ending a symbolic way of snapping back into reality, shifting itself from the inside out? That to me is terrifying. I give this mango grading a solid 6. I do like the creative take and the sound design of it all, but maybe it was more suited for a short film, in my opinion. Now, let's pivot into something a little bit more what the hell is happening type of energy while sticking in the horror genre. This is Ready or Not, Here I Come. And before I pop up, I have to talk about this. How does Buffy, the vampire slayer, the blueprint, the woman who literally made a career out of dusting the vampires, sending these demons straight back to hell and kicking ass, suddenly end up in demon worshipping chaos? You fought evil. You're not supposed to go join the group chat in blood? Don't get me wrong. I love SMG. I love Buffy Summers, but I felt a little bit attacked here. Was there like a body switch that I missed from a deleted scene? If an iconic final girl can flip the script, ain't nobody safe. The movie was released on March 20th, 2026 to 73% on Rotten Tomatoes with grossing so far only 32 million with a reported budget of 14 million. It follows the character Grace returning as she must protect her estranged sister while being hunted by several elite families in a high-stakes game. To go from the first one to this one, oh, this movie has already established its identity. The dark comedy horror tone. Oh, it leans in all the way with that. It's bloody and self aware, and it just knows to have a little bit of fun. The tension, it's still there. The stakes, even higher this time around. And visually, it is slick. Everything feels a little bit more polished, more intense. It's like the filmmakers had a bigger playground to play with and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to use all this. It's chaotic in a good way. Even a scene that threw me off by surprise, which includes SMG, so no spoilers this time. It's not perfect. The biggest thing, similar to Scream 7, predictability. There are moments where you can definitely feel what's coming and you can already guess it right before it happens. It's especially because if you've seen the first movie, there are a lot of horror thrillers out there where sometimes you can catch the setup way before the payoff and certain twists just don't hit as hard because you're already two steps ahead. I know a couple of my friends that also felt that with this movie. And here's the thing. Even when you know what's gonna happen, you still wanna watch it happen sometimes. And that's what this movie's secret weapon is. Yes, it's predictable, but in my opinion, it's entertaining enough that you don't really mind it. At least not with me. I tolerate it because, you're in on the joke. The film isn't asking you to take it seriously. It's just asking you to buckle up and just watch the madness happen. Although, quick disclaimer here. I did mention before about SMG portraying a character about devil worshipping chaos because, yes, it does include some devil worshipping actions and it does include a goat. So, if you happen to be religious and can master the ability to separate fiction from faith, well, then that's up to you, depending on how you felt after watching the first film. Because let's be real, who walks in blindly of a sequel without seeing the first of any movie? Not me, that's for sure. Ironically, oh, y'all ain't ready for this. Someone told my friend Ian after watching this movie about you should warn people how devilish this film is, especially since you guys are showing it and what people are walking into. There is some devil worshiping in this. It was not what I expected. And she went on and on about it. And I'm like, as if he made the movie or he approved of showing it for everybody. I mean, have some common sense, people. Choose another movie, refund the ticket. It's that simple. Y'all, I witnessed all of this happen, seeing how he was responding to it, and it took all my might to not say anything. Kind of like if Cardi B's mouth was stitched shut. But then again, it's Cardi B. I bet you that's not even going to stop her. Some of the story beats feel a little bit too familiar. Like, instead of reinventing the game, it just felt like they were reshuffling the deck at this point, similar to Scream 7, which I'll get into in a bit. There are moments where you just wish that it took bigger risks instead of playing it safe with certain character arcs or certain outcomes. And because of that same predictability, a few of those shocking moments don't land as hard as they wanted to. Ready or Not Here I Come may not surprise you. Some of it still keeps you locked in, and that's where you just want to watch it happen. I give this mango grading of a 6. And to follow up, it's funny how critics blasted Scream 7 and yet brought in its best numbers of the entire franchise. And yet, critics also gave great feedback for this film, and yet the turnout was not the same at all. Maybe critics are a little bit out of touch with what people want to see. Okay, let's go from hiding in a mansion to being completely alone in space. Enter Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling, who is apparently collecting space movies like Infinity Stones at this point. This marks his second trip to the cosmos after First Man. But this isn't a historical grounded NASA story. This is isolation. This is science. This is where you wake up with no memory and realize you might be humanity's last show. Yo, that's literally what the plot is. Project Hail Mary was released on March 20th, 2026 to a rave 95% on Rotten Tomatoes and has so far grossed 422 million with a huge budget of 200 plus million. Ryan Gosling, oh, he carries this film like his life depends on it. And Also, our lives too. This is a very solo heavy performance, and he somehow blends in teaching science, the isolation, existential dread feel entertaining. It's like he makes us want to learn, be stressed out, and yet still be emotionally attached simultaneously. Like, what the hell? Now, usually solo heavy led movies can be a make it or break it, depending on the actor, the actress, and the type of movie. We got Sandra Bullock in Gravity, Tom Hanks in Castaway, etc. But Ryan Gosling, he keeps you hooked throughout. With his 20-plus year career, Ryan Gosling has evolved into one of those actors where no matter what he's in, you're gonna watch. Despite his known stance of portraying emotionally complex, quiet characters, and then he also plays these intense characters who communicate more with expression than dialogue. Oh, he did a unique blend in this film. And speaking of science, the the film actually leans into it. It doesn't dumb things down at all. It trusts the audience to keep up. Like we're the students in this astute film, which makes everything more grand. You're not just watching things explode. You understand why they make. For a movie set mostly in the emptiness of space, it has a lot of heart, especially with his new friend. Oh, be prepared to have some runny noses, some tears falling down from your eyes because it is effective. And it's I still feel like that right now, even after watching it. The thing about this film, it's very problem solution driven. You know, you solve one thing, a new problem unlocks. It's just like one thing after another. The heavy science talk, for some people, it's gonna hit you like, oh, I love this. I feel smart. I learned something. And then for some others, you know who you are. You're gonna feel like, damn it, I should have paid more attention in class. If you're not thinking during your movies, oh yeah, this may not be your cup of tea because this isn't like a turn off your brain type of film. It can feel very contained, but it isn't boring at all. No, it's just it may not be visually explosive as some other space movies, but this goes for that more slower, methodical storytelling. And I liked how it tackles every single detail there. Project Hail Mary isn't trying to be the loudest movie in space. It's trying to be very smart and somehow maintain its emotional weight. And for me, I feel like it blended both very well. This guy Ryan Gosling out here fighting for humanity, like his situationship depends on it. I agree with the critics, and I give this film a solid 9. I wonder if Ryan does another space movie, what this mission will be. And for this film, will it make it into my top 10 by the end of the year? I feel like it's got some staying potential. What would you do to save everything? Let's be real. Sometimes saving the world looks a little different growing up. Sometimes it was about saving a princess, dodging enemies, collecting stars, maybe falling off a planet for the 47th time and still trying and trying again like your life depended on it. Which brings us to our final review, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. This isn't just a movie, it is a time machine. When the music hits, oh, you're in your room, the controller's in your hand, no responsibilities, just the vibes. And honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if the millennials pack the theaters and sitting down to watch this film. The Super Mario Galaxy movie was recently released on April 1st, 2026, to so far 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, though I'm going to try to spike that up with my review. And right now it has a budget of 110 plus million. So I want to see how fast that this movie could get to a billion. Voiced by notable names of Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, Jack Black, Anya Taylor-Joy, Brie Larson, and more. The movie goes with after Rosalina gets snatched, because let's face it, consistency is key for princesses, the group teams up with cosmic beings going against Bowser and Junior, defying gravity. Like physics is just a suggestion at this point, and they definitely don't go the alphabet style. And somehow it turns childhood nostalgia into a full blown existential moment. Ah, medium. I have to say, I genuinely enjoyed this film. I can't wait to go back and watch it again. The pure throwback for anyone who just grew up with Nintendo. Honestly, it just hit me right in my childhood feels. The whole Mario universe is just a huge part of my upbringing and also a part of my personality. So this got me right in my soul. The animation, chef's kiss. Every galaxy, every spinning planet, every little detail, the stars. It's like they handcrafted it just for the diehard fans like us and introduced the new gen to this very enhanced world. Honestly, I could just watch it for the visuals. I'm gonna keep it real with you. It is not gonna win much awards, or you're not gonna really quote this movie around your friends. There's not really memorable quotes there. But remember, this is a youthful oriented movie, so the beats are predictable, the characters are not super deep, and the pacing sometimes did feel a bit rushed at times, just like the first film. But you know what? I'm chill about it. This movie is not about Shakespearean level type of drama. It's about adventure, chaos, and just the pure joy of bouncing through the galaxies with Mario and the group and reminding us of why he is the king of our childhoods and just having fun with every mushroom, every punch, and every kick. At the end of the day, it's not perfect. It's not a cinematic masterpiece. But for me, oh, it worked. It has a lot of magnanimity. It just made me smile and laugh, like feeling like I was a kid again. Literally, while I was watching this film, I just went in a flashback to where I'm playing the Nintendo. I'm choosing either Mario Galaxy, Mario Tennis, Mario Party, Mario Kart, and I could just continue playing the game for hours and not getting bored. And just in case if y'all are wondering, no, it did not interfere with my homework. Honestly, since some critics seem to have lost their touch with their childhood about that, yeah, that says a lot with the latest ratings. You know, sometimes having fun with the movie is the point. And this one literally nailed. I'm giving this mango grading a solid 8. There are some surprises that are going to be happening in the middle of the movie and in the post-credits scene. You have to wait to the very end of the credits. It sets it up for the third movie. All right, y'all. We're in one of my favorite segments, off script stories. My next guest right here, we just gonna go straight to it. He is a dancer and an actor where we have done numerous collaborations on different projects, and he is currently a choreographer and gets hired for big events, parties, and much more. So let's give it up for my boy Joe Gia.
Really?
What's
Appreciate
up,
that.
man?
That was a good introduction.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. First time being on the podcast. It's been a long time coming. Christopher Not Nolan, you know what I mean?
Bruh. Hey, I'm gonna have to get that TM, I swear.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but dude, thank you for coming.
No, thank you for having me, man. It's an honor. I like the setup here. Looks legit, you know?
Yeah, well, hopefully we can upgrade that to a more 4K. And I have big visions for this studio and for all of this. It's gonna be a surprise, but it's gonna resemble movies. So that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So now let's let the people get to know you a little bit more. So let's go with your background. So how did you get started in your line of work?
Oof, that's a good question. So pretty much, my dad used to break dance back in the '80s and stuff like that, right? Back whenever it was like first kind of going on. I know it kind of started late '70s, early '80s. He kind of did his thing, right? And then whenever I was like growing up, right, he was kind of teaching me first off, and then I started kind of picking it up on my own. From there, I mean, he taught me kind of like the basics, but from there, like learning the basics, kind of practicing on my own, trying to go to YouTube and stuff like that. I was never like an official, like I never went officially to a dance studio or anything, right? I was more considered like a backyard flipper and stuff, and more like what they've like, told me before in the past. But with that, I started hitting up like little events and stuff, just kind of doing my own thing out there, like just dancing. They would put on a song, I would start dancing, and then of course I started getting noticed. And then eventually, hey man, do you want to go ahead and teach at the dance studio? Hey man, do you want to go ahead and do the Viper thing? And I was like, oh yeah.
That's another thing. So, guys, we danced on basically a G League basketball team where it was just what they call a hype squad. You can see that in many of the basketball affiliations where they always have a hip hop dance group. That's how we met, actually. And dude, that's almost about to be 7 years ago.
Bro, I didn't even tell me, man. You're gonna make me feel old, man.
Dude, time flies by when it comes to all that. I remember when we met, it was just, the vibes was instant.
Yeah,
for hands down. And then look at us now.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're like clicking two peas in the pot, man.
Absolutely. Okay, so now when it comes to, because dance is an art form, but we also talk about like Step Up and that franchise where it needs to have a comeback. I swear.
Yes.
Okay, so did you have a favorite Step Up movie?
I don't know about Step Up, but
Or at least a dance movie?
yes, of course. You Got Served.
Oh,
Everybody remembers that you got served during that time frame, man. I had me and my other friend named Chris, actually, dude. He's a shout out to Chris Pena. But I'm sorry, not Chris Pena, Christian Parra. Shout out my boy Christian Parra. Chris Pena is another one of my friends too. But yeah, so Christian and I, like, when we were first seeing that movie, we were like, oh man, we got to learn this and that. And that, he found out, like, my dad was breakdancing back in the day. He's like, oh man, we want to like learn too. When we were doing that, that's what really like projected me to like really focus into dance and everything like that. So that's one of my like inspirational movies. Even though it was cheesy back then, me growing up now watching it, but like at that time, the storyline and everything, I was like, whoa.
Well, I still love that movie. I still have it in one of my DVD collections, and every once in a while, like once in a blue moon, I will go back to it because You Got Served. It was something of its time. I would say that. Okay, so now, other than that, what is your background with movies? Like, what's one of the first movies you saw as a kid?
I want to say one of the first movies that I saw as a kid, man, it's one of those, like some Dumb and Dumber, some The Mask, some Tommy Boy, Black Sheep, all those type of like, comedy movies. I think mine was like one of those comedy movies first off, but those are the type of movies that I kind of like, kind of got raised on and everything, and kind of had like that, like humorous aspect to my life and all that, man.
Man, Dumb and Dumber is so stupid. But,
Yeah.
but then the thing is with The Mask, I grew up with The Mask as well.
Yeah.
So I feel you when it comes to just the animation.
Oh, yeah.
And
there was like dancing in it too, and it's like, like Elvis and doing all that stuff. Yeah.
well, that does say a lot about you because knowing you do have quite a humorous persona, and you don't take shit seriously.
So yeah, I mean, I guess I get serious when I need to get serious, pretty much.
That's literally how life should be.
Yeah.
Because like whoever lives life so seriously the whole time, honestly, I don't understand it at all.
Joker's quotes: "Why so serious?"
Oof, bruh, don't clutch my heart with The Dark Knight. You know what? Dude, that's one of my all-time favorite movies right there. Why don't you present to us your off-script story for today?
Off-script story. Okay. So usually, whenever I was like growing up, I guess I was kind of like already in my teens and everything, and I was going out with the homies,
All right.
Shout out Rico, shout out Toby, shout out. Nah, but with them, right, we'd get ready like to go out somewhere, and I'd be like, man, I don't know what to wear, you know what I mean? Kind of deal. I was like, I would reference, of course, man, some Jim Carrey, some Grinch. I'd be like, ooh, ha, ooh, that's it. I'm not going. Like. That funny stuff, they'd be like, what are you talking about? And then I would tell them about the movie, like, oh, yeah, so.
Bruh, don't lie. Tell me you're not in the mirror when you put on something, you go out there, you're like,
yeah, for sure.
hey, but shout out for Jim Carrey for making a classic scene.
Yeah.
Now, see, that does say a lot, because is Jim Carrey like one of your favorite like movie actors?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's going to be my top 5 for sure. Like, it's really, dude, like, he's, if not top 5, top 10, but yeah, like definitely like around that area. Because I mean, like all the type of movies that he's done, man, I like grew up on. You know what I mean? Like Liar, man. Even Grinch, like I was saying, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber. Like there's so many, man.
And don't forget Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. What, bro? Don't tell me you haven't seen that one.
No, the way you said it, I was like, what? No, yeah, it's a long title, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a hell of a long title.
Yeah.
But it's still one of his best works, honestly. But then going back to his comedy, where that's the foundation of him as a comedian actor, I mean, The Mask is obviously one of my favorites. And then the fact that he's in Sonic.
Yeah, the Hedgehog, yeah, for sure, man. He took on like all these roles, even though some of them are like comedians, he's taken on like serious roles. He's taken like all these different type of like things that have made him great.
Oh, don't forget about
like,
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass too. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. It was like a different realm for him too. Like Kick-Ass and like all that certain like type of like that comedy, like you know what I mean, like Jonah Hill and like Michael Cera and all that type of like comedy. He really want to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, because that is a different level.
That's a different comedy.
Jim Carrey's very just animated. He knows the sillier, the funnier that it'll be.
Right. Like, yeah, he's done so many, but like I feel like his comedy is more like, I guess, more family friendly. Of course, there's some things that he has that's kind of like that, but let's like pushing the boundary on it. But but more like, Kick Ass and all those, like Jonah Hill and like Michael Cera and all those guys, Danny McBride, all those guys, they do more like raunchy comedy, more like how you said, like teen type of like, I guess it's more youthful, like how you're saying.
Because I mean, Superbad was definitely raunchy for a teen comedy, but
Yeah.
but it was like that type where it was just now it's still timeless and
It was right there, like kind of like starting that like era.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And then we just with Jim Carrey hitting himself. That's a good example. I like that.
Yeah.
So I was about to say also ask you because when it comes to movies, we like to go to the movie theater, and then especially with everything that's coming out this year, is there a movie coming out this year that you're looking forward to? Come on.
Don't stop till you get enough.
Michael
Jackson. You know what I mean, man? I want to watch that one, bro.
Oh,
Come
dude.
on now. What's another one?
Oh,
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Bro, yeah, that's many, bro, that are gonna be coming out this year. Apparently, I'm hearing what, like,
Tell me.
is it like Street Fighter or something like that?
Street Fighter's also coming out this year.
Fight movie, man, and all that, man. There's too many, man, that I'm like, I'm ready, and I'm ready to see all these movies, man. I'm gonna be there at the. Call me old fashioned or whatever. We're there at the movie theater, man. I'm not gonna do none of this streaming, nothing. I'm gonna be there at the movie theater, my popcorn, my snacks, and everything, just ready to watch all these movies.
Going to the movie theater is not old fashioned. It is timeless.
Timeless, yes, for sure.
And we need to save the movie theater.
Yes, for sure. We need to save the movie theaters, man. We need to.
Hey, I was gonna say you have seen the Mortal Kombat trailer, right?
Yeah.
Wait, the second one, not the first one.
No, I haven't seen the second one.
All right, bro. So now that you're looking forward to Mortal Kombat 2, we go watch it, the trailer for the first time for you, because I've seen it already, but I want to get your reaction.
Okay, yeah, I haven't fully seen it. Robbie's probably like, what the heck? I got you, Robbie. I'm watching it right now.
Okay, so here we go.
I can't wait to watch it, man. To be honest with you, okay, well, let me ask you this, right?
Okay.
Who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character, would you say?
Oh.
I'll tell you mine.
Okay,
you tell me yours.
Okay, you go first.
So even though I have a different costume than the person is there, I have Raiden's costume, man.
Okay.
Johnny Cage was my first. Like, my favorite character, man. I used to do the splits when I was a kid, bro. Believe it or not, man, when I was like flexible, I was a little kid, I was like, yeah. And they were like, what?
You would do the splits.
Yeah.
All the way to the ground.
Okay. Not all the way to the ground, but like pretty close. You know, I was a kid, and I was like, man, like 6, 7 years old.
Honestly, man, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Johnny Cage was my favorite as well.
Yeah.
Just because of the way he executed his moves when you were playing it, and then it just made it look like you wanted to emulate that. Versus the other ones, you could tell that they were, let's be real, this is a long shot, and they look very, for the video game. At least Johnny Cage seemed to resemble the most of her. Like, I could try to be that.
Right.
Maybe not looking as handsome as he does, but I could try. I could try a little bit. But that's about it.
Man, they make him look older in the movie, though. I don't know why. Like, maybe it's because, I guess it's fast forwarding because it's the 2 now, part 2 and stuff.
Hey, but dude, that comes out in May.
So I'm ready.
We gotta watch it.
We gotta go. Me, you, Robbie, I don't know, Josh, whoever.
Hey, whoever's down. Honestly.
Whoever's down. Oh yeah.
Now we gonna get deep a little bit.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so movies imitate life for us. My question to you is, what movie helped shape the person that you are today?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Let me see. It's getting a little bit more complicated. Let me see. One of the movies that has kind of like it might be cheesy, right? Because I'm a dancer and whatnot, right? But I have to go back to You Got Served. You know what I mean? So
I thought you were gonna go back to Jim Carrey for a second.
Carrey? Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah. You can do both. Let me go ahead and do Jim Carrey, some of like The Grinch. You know what I mean? Because I think there is because there's a lot of being a kid and stuff and being like, not so grumpy. You can't be grumpy all the time. You got to have like, comedy, and you got to like be able to laugh and be able to, also, yeah, of course, be serious when you need to be serious, right? But also like, laugh and be like not so grumpy all the time, man. So I did take that, as a kid too. I'm like, man, can't really be getting like mad all this time, and all that. So absolutely. Yeah, I do say that. And the only reason I was saying like, you got served because I mean, I couldn't think off the top, but yeah, no, like I didn't want to go ahead and do the Grinch, man.
You Got Served is a good one, but also the Grinch. I was about to say, is it because we grew up in a small town and that was resembled Whoville?
Yeah.
And everyone knew each other. I was about to say also, like, you also chose the Grinch because you love Christmas.
Yeah, I love Christmas. That's my second favorite holiday. My first holiday is gonna be, of course, the month that I was born in October, because you can dress up, man. That's why I got my raiding costume. That's why I love the October. But I wouldn't say that I love, like, what is it, the Nightmare Before Christmas or anything like that, because it goes off of Halloween. But they're kind of both hand in hand in that movie.
Well, Nightmare Before Christmas is one of the only few movies where you can merge Halloween and Christmas. The only one, like probably the only main one so far.
Yeah.
But also, I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say Dia de los Muertos because that's also in October.
Shout out the Mexican culture. Dude.
Now, okay, so I have one final question before we get going. Trust me, guys, us together, we'll be here for hours. Here's the thing: we have seen film grow ever since we were kids. I mean, we saw CGI green screen.
Definitely bump up, man, from like the superhero movies to what they are now. Man, I was watching the other day a clip of the Batman movie before.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was
to go
so
from
serious, bro.
Yes, to go from Batman Returns and the Batman to now Robert Pattinson's the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
The whole scope of the film industry has changed.
Definitely.
So I was about to say, how was your reaction when you look back and realize how we were looking at film before versus how the landscape is now?
I mean, it's like everything, changing, upgrading. It's adapting pretty much with like pretty much what like the audience want to see. Because before it was like the old Mortal Kombat movies, where they were like, more fighting and and then now there's a lot more CGI, like what you're saying, a lot more like green screen, and then they add different like backgrounds to it, when before like filming, they would be out there like filming across the world and stuff like that, you know what I mean? It was,
and that's what Christopher Nolan is doing.
Not Nolan.
Not me. No, I'm not doing this, but Christopher Nolan did it because he filmed Around the World for the Odyssey.
Oh yeah,
that one's coming out this year. Now he filmed in many different places, and that's going practical there. Versus people just do CGI just to either go with the visual effects, and they do all of that. I remembered in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, Elizabeth Olsen said that she wasn't even in the same room with those other actors. Yeah, they were all in different rooms, in different areas, at different times, and it just looks like they were in the same room.
You know what? That reminds me too of the movie with Jonah Hill. He came out with Lauren London in that movie.
He wasn't he the Uber driver, and then she got in the car?
No, he.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he wasn't an Uber driver. She got confused. Oh yeah. She was the one driving, and he got into her car. He thought that she was an Uber driver. Yeah. I think it's called
Shout out to Lauren London.
Lauren London, yeah. R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. No, but
yes, Nipsey Hussle.
What was I gonna say? So yeah, pretty much.
I remember that movie.
That movie, they CGI them kissing.
What?
Yeah, I didn't even know that, yo. So like in the like they weren't even there, like in the same room. I think, I don't know, like yeah. I had to look it up. I'll show you afterwards, man. Like yeah, that's weird because I guess Lauren London didn't want kiss him because he didn't want to kiss her because it was around that time, I guess. Like it was a couple of years later, but Nipsey Hussle passed away and stuff, and then she like.
Oh, it was out of respect.
Yeah, I guess so. You know what I mean? But
I could see that.
Yeah. So like it was, I don't know. Yeah. So that's one of the.
I was about to say, like, so what? You have two people that were in the Matrix and they just kissed each other but did not.
They I guess. I think they were in the same room, but they weren't like
they're part of
close. They weren't like close. They kind of just kissed like this, and I think they just CGI them like kissing.
Why not just hire a stunt double and just film it from the back?
Right. I don't know.
Because that would have been better out of respect.
Yeah.
But okay. So that is, I'm going to look that up.
Yeah.
No, we're going to look that up right after this.
Yes, definitely.
But okay. So before we wrap up the podcast, is there anything you would like to say for our viewers and listeners?
Continue to go to the movie theaters, right? Because We need them to stay open. I don't want to go all digital completely on everything. You know what I mean? So continue to go to the movie theaters, continue to make these great memories with these movies and everything to kind of aspire or like make you
Aspire to inspire.
yes aspire to inspire for sure. Thank you, and that's pretty much it. Christopher, not Nolan, anything?
Well, I mean, I'm the one hosting the show, so I was gonna say thank you for appearing, man.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna return again soon, I hope.
Yes, I am. All right, yeah, part two.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a part 2 coming up soon, y'all. And that is Off Script Stories. Peace.
Peace.
Now, I hope some of y'all got your tea and popcorn because it is time to deliver what's happening in these Hollywood streets with my final segment, The Real Talk. At least we got Mario making huge waves of nostalgia, but on the flip side, the Power Rangers TV series has officially come to an end. Oof, this is heartbreaking for me, y'all. After 32 years, the latest Cosmic Fury series will be the final entry of the timeline. Now, let me be clear. The franchise isn't over. No. Not on my watch. It's just getting a fresh reboot on Disney Plus that may come around 2028. So we have that happening on the horizon. And y'all, I'm still trying to find the casting calls for me to be a Power Ranger. I mean, Hasbro, for the people at Hasbro, come on, take a look at me. I've got personality, I can do my own gymnastic skills, and I am very knowledgeable on the franchise. Plus, I've got some acting experience. So have your people call my people. The ripple effect of the Academy Awards has still left a lingering sour taste, especially after one battle after another taking home the top prize of Best Picture over Sinners, which was highly anticipated to win and make history. Well, looks like they chose the wrong kind of history to be on. It's giving tantamount to Crash winning the Best Picture and that controversy. Oh, yeah, that was a you had to be there type of moment. Props to Michael B. Jordan for taking home the Best Actor award. Oh, I cried as soon as they announced his name. If you pay close attention to how he portrayed the twin brothers, you know that he deserved it. And his speech, it was very moving. I admit it, I cried when he got the award because it was very monumental and historic. So if you got a problem with it, that's a you problem. I'm still feeling a little bit sour about the event, but I'm going to move on from it. If you really like going to the movies, duh, who doesn't? Then make a note for this. AMC is currently developing a program which is called Preferred Premier Seating, where the theaters will be blocking off the best seats from the regular moviegoers for paid royalty members. It is expected to launch sometime later this year, and supposedly it will include priority access to these seats before the general public at no additional cost. Now, for those who like going to AMC and are aware about the memberships, those eligible for this program will be the Stubbs A-List and the Stubbs Premier. So if you're in either of those, keep your subscription as this program will come in handy for you. If you don't have a membership by now, don't complain. Or at least limit your complaint about seating because that's your choice at the end of the day. By the way, I have a little note to say for the movie theaters. Increase the workers' wages by a significant amount. Remember this, there is no movie theater experience without the workers that work hard there. They work the holidays, the rough weekends, and they deserve to be paid righteously with at least some starting benefits. So, come on, pay your workers right. Tell me who is today years old and finding out that Woody and Jesse from Toy Story are siblings. Look, I know it's April, but I ain't fooling y'all. A new licensed sticker collection was recently revealed, and it had both of their last names. Woody Pride and Jessica Jane Pride. I mean, okay, look, I know there were some people out there who saw them as a romantic pair, cowboy, cowgirl. We know how that works. But honestly, when I was growing up, I didn't really see that because, I mean, from the very beginning, Woody flirted with Bo Peep. Jesse seemed to have a thing for Buzz in Toy Story 2. So I didn't really see that happening, and supposedly it's all tied to Woody's Roundup, the TV show. I ain't here for this incestuous behavior, even though they are toys. Next up, the vocal Bible herself, Miss Brandy, recently received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for carving a huge trail across multiple facets of pop culture. Let me break it down for you. From her Moesha braids becoming very popular as a hairstyle, being the first African American woman to lead in a major TV adaptation for a Disney princess, aka Cinderella, surviving a slasher horror film, thus breaking the whole black characters always die trope. She's the first African American singer slash actress to have a Barbie doll made to her likeness. Y'all, she is a huge trailblazer and is recently getting her flowers for it. And some of y'all are sleeping on this. Wake up. Some of y'all seem to have forgotten that she's just some of your favorite singers' favorite singer, or that some people are threatened by her greatness because of the trail that she led. Not me, though. I appreciate her legacy. I hope her next album is fire with the big vocals and her Method Man rapping style. And I just can't wait for it. Also, her new memoir, Phases, is out now in stores and on audio. So go check that out. Now, for a sadder note, RIP to these latest figures who have passed on. Nicholas Brendan from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Chuck Norris from Walker, Texas Ranger, although I still don't believe that he died. 2026 did. Death itself was scared to knock on his door. The Kiki Shepard from Showtime at the Apollo, and Carrie Ann Fleming from iZombie and Supernatural. RIP to them and their loved ones. Now, to round this up, there is a major update in the Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively trial. A few episodes ago, I brought this trial up due to lots of requests to talk about it. Now, here's the latest, and I hope I can get the names right. The district judge, Louis Lyman, dismissed 10 of 13 claims in Blake's lawsuit against Justin, including all of the sexual harassment allegations, defamation, and the conspiracy. The three claims still involved are retaliation, breach of contract, and aiding and abetting retaliation. Now, just a refreshing reminder, this same judge also dismissed Justin's $400 million countersuit in June of 2025. So this is taking quite a unexpected turn. He ruled that Lively was an independent contractor, not an employee, and therefore could not bring these claims under Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act. Now, mind you, this is going against Justin Baldoni's company, not strictly him himself, even though it is his company, but there's a lot of legalities that surround that. Additionally, he noted that the alleged conduct occurred in New Jersey, while the claims that were filed were under California law. So this case is currently set to head to trial in New York on May 18, 2026. Following this ruling, the judge ordered a last-ditch settlement conference to see if the parties can reach an agreement before a trial. We'll see how that goes. Now, both parties have released their statements, but y'all go ahead and look it up and feel what you feel on that. And that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank y'all for joining me, and however you are watching or listening, feel free to share your thoughts on what I covered in this episode. And remember, life is not the amount of breaths you take. It is the moments that take your breath away. Until then, I'm going to go watch Zendaya and Robert Pattinson unfold the heavy drama. So, see you at the movies.